Hiya teacups, what's brewing? If you're not used to going over to Milk Tea Chilled, this will be an unfamiliar background to you. That's okay, it just felt a little bit more appropriate for the chat I want to have. So if you look underneath my videos at the moment, there is a membership button. This is a new thing for me. Or at least there will be a membership button by the time I put this video up. I haven't currently enabled it. I've thought about doing memberships before, and I was always a little concerned that if I was offering extra Chantel content, I wouldn't be able to keep up, because sometimes I can't keep up with her. And sometimes, frankly, she's not worth keeping up with. She'll have hours upon hours upon hours, and no one can live at that speed because the rest of us have lives and jobs and other things to put our attention to. We're not in COVID anymore. But I floated the idea of memberships, and I've done it before, but I did recently-ish on my community tab, and I got a bit of a mixed response. Now, I understand it, not everyone wants to pay extra for content, so I wanted to sit down with you at the moment, and I just wanted to let you know what it's going to include, and I think equally importantly, what it's not going to include, because I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding there. Now, I do want to preface this with I understand no matter what I'm offering, some people are not in a position to pay extra, some people just don't want to pay extra and don't feel like they should. That is all completely fine. Thank you for supporting the main channel, and I appreciate you. So let's start with the things that aren't going to happen, because I feel it's better just to get that out of the way and try and clear that up. Firstly, I built this main channel on my Chantel content, on Foodie Beauty and her world. So if you are here just for that, I am not putting my Foodie Beauty content into my memberships. I may occasionally do live streams, and we'll talk about the live streams later, in which case she might come up. I don't mind discussing her, but it's not going to be the general focus of the memberships, and I'm not going to take away that content. If you just want to continue watching my recaps, my reacts here on channel, you can do so and not pay an extra penny. The second thing I wanted to tell people about, and this is connected to the live streams, is that I am not switching to a live react format. Frankly, although I like being part of live reactions, I understand the interaction is nice, I don't like creating live reacts. It doesn't really give me a chance to go over and to look at what I've said and see if it makes sense, and just take out when I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. Although the editing process takes a lot of time with Foodie, I really like the editing process because it allows me to be sure that what I want to say is what I'm actually saying. That's just a personal thing, but I feel under a bit more pressure in a live, and I just want to make sure that what I'm presenting is what I mean to present. Now, lives are good because they do allow you to not have to do that work behind the scenes, and they're a lot faster, but it's just not my preference. However, if I watch you and you do lives, do not take any offense, because I do enjoy being a participant. So am I going to do lives just as chats then? Possibly. I was thinking of scheduling and having a live be one of the benefits, and I'm not ruling it out. But I didn't want to schedule lives because everyone is in different time zones, and I feel like if I say, okay, this is going to be when I do a live no matter what, and I actually put down a concrete schedule, I'm automatically excluding a lot of people. So I think instead, Pulpy uses the phrase ad hoc, and I think it's a good one. I think I'm just going to leave it to an ad hoc schedule. And if I have time and I come on, or I've got something to say, or I just feel like chatting, I may show up, and then people can catch up on the replay if they would like to. And it just gives everyone an opportunity. If I come on different times, I can meet different people. So I'm hoping that clears up everything that people were concerned about there. And let's move on to what I will be including within the memberships. So the reason I wanted to start memberships really is because I do want to explore slightly different content, and it just didn't really have a place on my channel. It can be quite difficult to start diluting your content with other things, especially when I've built it on such a concentrated view up until now. So the kind of things I want to do within membership are, I want to start recapping shows. So the TV show, if you've been with me long term, you know I'm a fan. And I think someone joked about it in the comments when I brought it up. memberships on my community tab. And I was like, no, I'm serious. But I want to start following the Great British Bake Off. It's about to start. I was actually going to start this membership in about a week's time because that's when the Great British Bake Off starts. It starts on the 24th, I believe, and it hadn't been announced for a while, so I was waiting. But YouTube have this offer, full disclosure, because I know someone's going to be like, oh, she's only doing it for the money. Dude, I like money. But YouTube is doing an offer that runs till the 16th where I get a bonus if I start memberships earlier, so it makes no sense to wait for the week. And I'll just bring in some of my other ideas for that week before we start the show. So I've got two basic ideas for the membership content, and then the third one is going to be based on you lovely people. So the first one is going to be a recap of Great British Bake Off. When that's finished, we can perhaps pick another show to work with. These will probably be recaps and follow-alongs rather than reacts because I've got a feeling the BBC might be somewhat litigious. Broadcasters tend to be very strict over how much of their content can go into a video. But I'd love to follow along and I want to do that. So it's going to be my tea and series. So if it's milk tea and bake or milk tea and cake or milk tea and bread, whatever the theme of the week is, and we can follow along. The second series I've got in mind, and that's what I'll pursue this week while I'm waiting for the show to start, and after, of course, I've got in my head roughly as freshly brewed, and this is kind of what I'm going to be doing and what I'm hoping you'll be doing. So I want to start introducing you to other creators I follow, and I don't mean other drama creators or other, people I don't like. It's maybe the best. I want creators that I actually enjoy watching. And I was going to introduce them a little bit. Some of them are small creators, some of them are larger, but just people I enjoy, and doing a little introduction. I also, and this is where you guys come in, want to watch some creators that you suggest and give my thoughts on whatever, I keep trying to say episode, but whatever content you suggest to me. So the difference between that and my reacts is I have a lot of history with Chantel in terms of being a viewer, knowing her story. Whereas if I were to react to new people, it would be a first look and it wouldn't be there with any kind of history. So I wouldn't know what would come up. It would be first impressions. And if you imagine for a minute, if you had Chantel and you'd only ever seen her hauls, her pre-recorded hauls, you'd have a very different picture of her than you do when you watch all of her content. So it's interesting sometimes to just see what people look like upon first impression, and it gives me a chance to know what you're watching and maybe some new people to follow. So those are the two series. If you have any requests for content, I can also consider those. I won't guarantee them, but I will consider them. Anything too personal, probably not. And my budgeting stuff is going to remain over on Milk Tea Chilled. Okay, so that's all I really have for you today. And if you join the memberships, thank you so much for the extra support. If you don't join the memberships, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you during my regular reacts. All right, I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.